Welcome, you guys, to our Why Bravenly. We're going to keep it short and sweet, but we're going to make sure it's packed with important information for you guys. So I'm going to screen share really quickly and get us started. Okay, there we go. Can I get a thumbs up that you guys can see this? Yay, thanks, Jen. Okay, thanks, Sunny. All right, awesome. Well, welcome you guys to our Why Bravenly. My name is Tara Castaneda. I am a Silver Executive Vice President here, which is just a rank title here at Bravenly. You'll hear a little bit about it and what that means. But I wanted to share my story with you guys, why I'm speaking. So I am a mom of 5 little girls, and I am pregnant with my sixth, and it happens to be a boy. So my husband got his boy. He's pretty excited about it. But we are a full-time network marketing family. We have been for 12 years. So we have been in this industry for quite a bit of time. And in fact, when my oldest, which you wouldn't think it, you would think it's the tallest one. No, it's the one on the far right in the center. She's my oldest, but when she was 3 months old, this industry found us. And so I'm going to share a little bit about that story. So when she was 3 months old, my husband and I found ourselves in a really difficult spot. I didn't know this industry existed. I have a master's in business. So prior to having her, I was working in the corporate field, and I thought, oh, I have my life planned out. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I am going to run up the corporate ladder and find time freedom and financial freedom that way, which I think looking back is pretty hysterical that I thought that. But that's what my plan was. And then we had her, and life shifted. My husband was also working full time. But when we got pregnant with her, we decided that I was going to take the first 12 months off from that job to be with her. Well, we knew that that was going to be a financial cut. We just didn't know how significant it was going to be for us. And when she was 3 months old in the month of December, we found ourselves $50 behind on our gas bill. And we were way too embarrassed to ask for help. We were already receiving so much help at that point that we were humiliated, and we let the gas company kind of turn us off. And so that means we didn't have heat in the month of December. We didn't have a working stove because it was gas, but we also didn't have hot water. And I found myself one evening when my husband was working overtime, and it was really late, that I needed to bathe my 3 month old. And the way I had to do it was I had to take a bowl of water and microwave it to get it warm to bathe her. And I just lost it. I started crying on my kitchen floor, and I started praying, and I said, there has got to be something different. This can't be it. And I kind of was waving my white flag, saying, please, Lord, tell me something. And I was dealing with a lot of anxiety, a lot of health issues at the time. And 7 days after that prayer, a friend of mine said, hey, Tara, have you ever heard of this industry? You know, so and so, someone that we both knew, so and so is making $75,000 a month doing this. You need to look at it. And I thought, oh, $75,000 a year? That's great. I mean, I'd love to do that, making that from home. And she said, no, no, a month. And I thought, what in the holy scam are you trying to get me a part of? And she was like, no, it's real. Just trust me. And I'm thinking, all I need is $50, like $50 to get back on my heat for my kid. And so I told my husband, David, and he was like, babe, if you can get $50, more power to you, go chase it. So I did. And we got started with some help, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I started sharing. And that first month, we used to receive physical paychecks back in the day. Now it's just direct deposited. But the physical paycheck, I remember peeking into it, looking at it, and it had a comma in it, you guys. It was $1,100. And I thought, that's when I knew I had gotten into something illegal. No, I'm just kidding. I was like, I have no idea how I made this money, but I'm keeping it, babe. Go cash the check. We've got to turn the heat back on. He ran to the bank. It was good to go. But honestly, that's when I thought, oh my gosh, what did I do? What did I do here? And how can I really make something of this? And that's when I asked myself a question that changed the rest of our trajectory. And it was, what if I got serious about this industry? what if I really tested the limits here? Why not me making $75,000 a month? I mean, that's way more than what we needed, but why not me? And so I said to my husband, I said, I'm doing this because I don't want to go back to work when my 12 months is over after, my maternity leave or my break. I said, what if I could stay home and replace income? And so that's what I did. Fast forward 12 months, I hit the top of that company and I was making more a month than I was making a full-time year with a master's degree in upper level corporate management. And I thought, holy smokes, that's when I told my husband, we're doing it with you too. We started an account with him. 12 months later, he hit the top of the company. So now we're doubled that. And then a few years later, we did it a third time. And when I say very quickly our lives changed, they changed. So where we were struggling in a very small house, paying the gas bills with one baby, we now have five and a half. We're growing our six. We live on a ranch in Austin, Texas. We've got the horses and the chickens and the dogs and the cats and the monkeys with all of our kiddos. We live a very fulfilled and abundant life, but my husband and I have not worked an 8 to 5 in nearly 11 years since we started this. He and I both do this full time. We homeschool our kids. So maybe you're looking for $400 a month, or maybe you're looking for more. There's space in this industry. Now, how did I get to Bravenly? Why Bravenly? And that's what I want to talk to you guys about tonight, but really quickly to kind of piece the puzzle piece together. I was with the former company for 10 years. And hey, you know what? Just like people can change, companies can change. And that company, having lived it, I now know some things I would have looked at differently because it was an accidental business 10 years ago. I would have seen some red flags a little earlier, but that company just ultimately changed. I won't go much into detail there, but I knew I could not align myself with the products, the company, the comp plan any longer. And I knew that even leaving that paycheck on the table and never seeing it again and going down to $0 a month, it had to happen. So to paint a picture, for us to do that, for us to walk away from what we built for 10 years in financial security and go to zero while I was pregnant with my fifth, she's in the middle there, you can barely see her. But at this time, I've been with Bravenly now for 2.5 years currently. But at this time, I was pregnant with my fifth, going, oh my gosh, I'm about to make this huge life decision. I got to make sure I go to the right company. Are you feeling me? Put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Like that's a weighted decision, right? I have to make sure it is a legit business, a legit opportunity that's going to feed my children, but also help the hundreds of thousands of people that potentially could follow me over the course of the next 10, 20, 30 years, God willing. It was a big decision. So that's where I want to talk today. Why Bravenly? So I've got a lot of insight in this industry, okay? And one of the first things that stood out to me were the owners. So meet the owners. So this is Aspen and Brent Emery. They are single owners. There's no investors, no private equity, no debt. We are debt-free, all cash-based. And they own this company. They had the vision to start this company. So Aspen, is the CEO, and Brent, her husband here in the center, he is the COO, operations. And then they have 5 children as well. They homeschool, so immediately we bonded over that. But she's got a lot of experience in both the field and corporate. And that was huge for me. And let me tell you why it's huge for you. If you have somebody running your company that doesn't know how to do what you do, is that going to work out really well? More times than not, no, right? They need to understand what it takes to build and to be successful on this end, what it feels like for us. The CEO needs to know what we need to be successful and how to implement that. You feel me? So she was a top earner in this industry in her former network marketing business. Now, there's a story that I want to share because if you're familiar with this industry, you may have seen some companies go to what's called affiliate. An affiliate means that they drop the network marketing model on their field and it kind of take away those commissions, which is heartbreaking. But it is happening. And so I'm going to just talk about what's in what's happening. That happened to Aspen. Yeah, that happened to her when she was in the field, where she found out about it because herself as the top earner and the biggest leader of that company way back when, nearly 20 years ago, nobody was getting paid. And it was like, wow, what happened? And she felt the guilt as a leader, the absolute heartbreak, the grief, and she immediately knew, oh my gosh, that I could never. Little did she know that she'd be a CEO of a company years later, but she vowed in that moment, I love the network marketing model. I'm here for the people, the field, and I'm here to make sure that the company stays intact to what it is that we have always been from day one, right? And that is what she has built. And that was so important for me to hear because one, I need a company that believes in what we do, but also has the heart and the culture that's going to stay the same company that I once joined. Does that make sense? My former company, it changed so much that I couldn't stay with it. I wanted to find a home where nobody wanted to leave. We continued to grow because the CEO, the leadership, the owners had that vested interest, right? That's what I found here. It's different here. Leadership matters. So she has the field experience. Well, then she ended up working at another corporate company in the industry and helped scale that business to, I think, $500 million. She was on the trainer side, and she was a former teacher before all of this. And so what I loved about that is she's got field experience. She knows what it's like in the corporate side to run a successful company. And then she's got a little bit of a teacher experience, which means she can teach. She understands systems. She makes it simple for people to know what to do, right? She and her heart and the way she fully lives, faith first, family second, business third, how she acts and behaves behind closed doors, the way she believes in this industry, the direction that she's taken this company, she was one of the biggest reasons that I said yes to Bravenly. We're going to keep going. All right, but I do want to talk about 5 things, the Bravenly difference. I pretty much covered this first slide with the last one. I got carried away talking about Aspen. But corporate leadership, everything rises and falls on corporate leadership. I kind of just explained that. If your corporate leadership doesn't have a heart for the people that's building it, that's a problem. If your corporate leadership doesn't know what it takes for the field to build it, that's a problem. If your corporate leadership doesn't stand by their word and really live by integrity, that's going to be a problem, right? So corporate leadership truly, truly matters. The second thing is it had to have the right products, right? So while I'm thinking about, okay, do I want to come to Bravenly? These are the 5 things. Corporate leadership, check. Met her. Got it. Okay. Number 2, products. Products have to be legit. And that's what I found here at Bravenly. We're not going to go over the nitty gritty of the products tonight. If you want that information, we have that information for you. Please get with the person that invited you here tonight and say, hey, I want the nitty gritty of the product information. We're going to get you plugged into that information. We've got some videos, we've got some pages for you. But for tonight, I want to just highlight a few things that stood out to me from a business perspective on why I liked these products. Number 1, high impact, right? You don't have to wait around to take these products to feel something. Or you don't have to say, okay, give it 90 days and maybe you'll feel a change. That's hard to do with customers. And I don't want to do that with customers. I want my customers to feel happy pretty quickly, right? Amen? Amen? You can drop amen in the chat if you like that too. I want not necessarily a quick fix, but I want my people knowing that it works, okay? So high impact products, some you feel in 20 minutes, some you feel the same day, within days, definitely within weeks. And some of them, a very small few, but I'll talk about those, you may feel in a couple of weeks, okay? But we've got greens, we've got blood sugar, blood pressure regulation, cholesterol, we've got natural energy components, vitamin infused energy drinks, we have mood support, appetite, weight control, we have a natural GLP-1, anti-inflammatory, we've got swelling, bloating, gut health. I mean, we've got it all. And a lot of our products are what I call multi-beneficial. Okay, what do I mean by that? That means that instead of going and buying one thing for just gut health, and one thing for just your multivitamin, and one thing just for inflammation, and one thing just for energy, that would be 4 products, right? If I did the math right in my head, I really wasn't paying attention to how many examples I just gave, but that'd be 4 products, right? Well, here at Bravenly, a lot of our formulas are multi-beneficial, meaning you can take one product and it's like taking 4 or 5 or 9 or 3 products in one. Why is that important from a business perspective? Well, one, ease of products, cost efficiency, right? Simplicity in daily use, and happy customers. The other thing is we are naturopathic doctor formulated. Okay. We're not just created in some lab. No, we are studied and created by naturopathic doctors, a panel of them. What is a naturopathic doctor? Well, by definition, naturopathy studies things of the earth, roots, vitamins, minerals, mushrooms, okay? Things of the earth that you can formulate in a special scientific-y way, a little above my head, not a naturopathic doctor. You can formulate it in such a way that it becomes bioavailable, absorbable in your body so that it helps your body heal itself. Okay, that is a fancy definition of, or a simple definition of the fancy word naturopathic doctor. So our formulas are intricately designed for maximum efficiency and absorption, bioavailability, right? That is key. Let's keep going with a couple more. We've got stress relief. That's a huge one for me. I've got lots of kids. If you didn't notice, I need some stress relief. We have a sleep aid. We have hormone support. This is the one where I said it might take a couple weeks to feel. And if you're imbalanced on your hormones, it might take some time to balance those hormones. That's understandable, right? You're not going to take 2 pills and magically it be fixed. But I've heard that this one also kind of helps pretty quickly with some sex drive. Okay, that's hormones. But it also helps both men and women with cycles, prostate, hormones, mood swings, all of that right there. I see somebody said, Kim said, proof of that right here. She's talking about that quick little libido boost. Okay, it works. Okay, happy marriages. Okay, we're here to support it. But all of that to say, we've got some incredible products. We've got a 3-day reset that's gentle on the body, that detoxes your body, hair, skin, and nails, hydration. I mean, we got it. We got a big line here. And you're going to find that our products come in different bundles. We've got lots of different bundles, but that's a way that we can serve our customers. Our top bundle is the Accelerate Trio here in the center. It's kind of our hero product, if you want to call it that from a business perspective. It's what most people start on, Accelerate Trio, and then they add a product or two should they want. But that is going to be a top seller. Up at the corner there, that's my results. Okay, I don't look like that anymore because, like I said, I'm pregnant, so I've gained a little bit there because of baby. But this is my results from the Accelerate Trio. Okay, it really does work. It really does have a success rate, and that's found in our reorder rate. So what is a customer reorder rate? Okay, typically in this industry, it's anywhere from 35 to 40%. That's considered good. I don't know if I would consider that good, but that's an industry standard. And when you're looking at a customer reorder rate, it's truly customers, not brand partners like myself. I'm a brand partner. And that is somebody who I'm in this, I also make money. So typically I'm going to order because I have skin in the game, right? Customers, they order for personal use. So if a customer is continuing to reorder, what does that data point tell you? That the products work, right? We have a 65 to 80% customer reorder rate. That is tremendous. That is proof that these products are desirable by your audience. The third thing that I was looking at and why Bravenly is systems that work, right? I've seen it time and time again over my 12 years in this industry as a top leader where people have teams or the company, it just doesn't have anything that you can plug into and all row in the same direction and learn what to do to build. It's kind of like, hey, join. Okay, go talk to people. Good luck. Like, that's it. It's like, wait a minute. Teach me what do I do here, right? That's what a system is. And so we've got systems to retain your customers. We've also got systems to build your business, both things that need to happen. So here on our team, for example, we have regular opportunity events. You're on one right now. Hi, welcome. You're here, right? We have these that are available. We've got online events that are available. We've got in-person events that we make available that are regular for you to utilize and share with your friends and audience. We have streamlined onboarding. With a click of a link, you have a 14-day onboarding program that gets you plugged into resources, gets you plugged into what to do, into activity, and earning quickly. Most people will earn between $500 and $1,000 in their first 30 days. Right? That's pretty impressive. I see someone popped in the chat and I want to quickly answer it. Can you take all the products together? That's a great question, Melissa. So we have a lot of people that do that. And when the naturopathic when the naturopathic doctors were formulating the products, they made it to where it was safe, where people could take the whole product. There wouldn't be a dangerous overlap or anything like that. So a lot of people do take a lot of products. Okay. Do you have to? No, but it's safe to, yes. And you may find yourself wanting them because they all work really well. Don't ask me what my favorite product is. I can't tell you that. I love too many of them. All right, keep going. We've got duplicatable checklists for you guys to know exactly what to do every single day to move the needle in your business and be time efficient. Put a 2 in the chat if you're busy. 2 in the chat if you're busy. Hi, hello. We all are busy. Okay, I respect your time tonight, so I'm talking fast to respect that. But I don't have time, and I know you don't have time, and I know your friends and your audience doesn't have time if they got started to dibble dabble and try to figure this out and go, well, what do I do? And waste time. No, we're going to tell you exactly what to do every single day that's going to be effective and help you build your business. That's amazing. From a corporate standpoint, we've got Facebook pages, we've got graphics, story content. We have an incredible app that is easily accessible and has resources and videos and all of the things. So honestly, if I'm going to be super honest, which I always am, there might be too many resources here at Bravenly, but we are going to guide you to those so that you have the insight that you need to build. So systems that work where we all row together. And I am telling you right now, this team if you're here, you were invited by somebody on our team. Our team's called the Brave Collective. We are one of the fastest growing teams in all of Bravenly, and it is because of what our systems can do. Okay, let's talk about timing. Okay, so this is a fun one for me because I want to paint a picture. Some of you on the call might know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to timing or momentum. Some of you might be going, I don't even know what those words mean in regards to this industry. Okay, so remember my story at the beginning where I said in 12 months I hit the top of the company. 12 months later, my husband hit the top of the company. A few years later, we did it a third time. Remember that? Okay, part of that is not because I'm something special, okay? Part of that is because of the company that I had joined happened to be, I didn't know at the time, it was a godsend, happened to be in what's called momentum. What that means, fancy word for like it's on trend, okay? It's viral on TikTok, okay? Something like that, where everybody is hearing about it and everybody's like, oh my gosh, okay, yeah, my neighbor was talking about it and the lady at the nail salon, she was drinking the drink and oh my, okay, I'm gonna go talk to so-and-so because I saw her posting on social media about it. I know her, I'm gonna go talk to her. So it doesn't really take much for you other than just being consistent in your marketing, that because of the social proof and the momentum in the nation or even globally, if you're open in multiple countries, the momentum and the trend of the company can skyrocket your business for you. Does that make sense? Nod your head if that's kind of making some sense to you, okay? Momentum. Now, I lived that 12 years ago. I lived that. I know what that's like. It's insane, you guys, and the money that can be made is insane, and the growth is insane, and it happened for a lot of people that I knew and a lot of my friends. Okay. But one thing that my husband and I always asked each other, just because we're entrepreneurial at heart, we thought, man, what if we got into a company that was pre-momentum, like right before that. And we built a good business, a substantial business, a business. And we had a team, an organization that then entered momentum. What would happen then? You could 10x that momentum. Instead of starting with one person into momentum and growing, say you start with 10 people into that momentum. Do you see how it goes bigger, right? So when we were looking at companies, one of the biggest things that we wanted was a company that was in pre-momentum. We didn't want a company that had been around for years or that everybody had tried before or that everybody already knew about. We wanted a financially stable company, one that we could trust. We found that. We asked some questions about that. We saw the proof of the company, which I'm going to talk about here in just a second, in their numbers. Numbers are I'm a numbers person. They tell you a lot. So we wanted the safety of that, but we wanted pre-momentum. That's where we are. I bet you in the next, gosh, anywhere from 6, 8, 12, maybe 18 months-ish, that's when we're going to hit momentum where it's like everybody and their dog knows about Bravenly. And you could be the one to benefit from that. That could be you, right? That could be you. So year 1, we did 1 million in sales. Year 2, we did 8 million. Year 3, we did 19 million. Year 4, we did 50 million. And this is going to be our 5th year, and we are on track to be over 100 million. Again, I'm a numbers person. I'm going to tell you something. Do you know the vast majority of companies in the United States never even hit $10 million ever? Ever. We did 8 million in our 2nd year. In the industry, 0.02% of companies in this industry globally have never hit $50 million in that 4th year. We did that. 0.02% of companies do that. We did that. That is insane growth. That tells you so much about the trajectory of this company. And now we've doubled that in year 5. You guys, sit down. Like, this is crazy talk. It's almost unheard of. Okay? That's what you have your hands on here. That's what's happening here. We've got companies in this industry looking at Bravenly going, what are y'all doing? Right? You know you're on track when it's like, what are you doing? Right? Okay, and then the 5th thing that I always like to look at is the compensation plan, right? Compensation plan. And that is so important because here, money isn't everything, okay? But it does matter. If you're going to spend time away from your family, doing something, attempting to build something, working towards something, it needs to pay out well, okay? Typically in the industry, we pay out in the industry, companies pay out 35% on the dollar, okay, earned. So basic math, if a company brings in $1 million of sales, they'll take 35% of that, which is $350,000, and pay that out to the field, okay? That's what that means. That the compensation plan has built in to pay out 35% back to the field in the various buckets of the compensation plan, okay? We have a compensation plan where it pays out 55 to 60%. So if we make, again, I'm keeping the numbers simple here. If we did $1 million in sales, we're doing more than that. If you do $1 million in sales, then Bravenly will pay out 550 to 600,000 of that back to the field, okay, because of the various ways that you earn in a comp plan. What does that mean? It means that there's more ways for you to earn money here. Paychecks are higher here. There's more buckets and ways that you increase your paycheck, okay? Put a 2 in the chat if that makes sense so far. Now we're going to talk about 2 ranks here. We're going to talk about director, okay, and vice president. Director is our core rank, okay? It's our core rank. And on average, people are making $489 a month, almost $500 a month, right? Put an exclamation mark if you could use an extra $500 a month in the chat. I know a lot of people who could. Put 2 exclamation marks if you know somebody that could use $500 a month, okay? That director To get there, roughly is anywhere from 13 to 15-ish orders. So if you helped 13 to 15-ish orders, and I'm going to explain what ish means, that's almost director. Now, we are a volume-based company. An order is an order is an order. It all counts. So somebody can order $50, somebody can order $500, and it all counts. Director is when you have a total volume of 2,500 in sales. And that includes anything that you buy as well. So if you buy something, you're paid on that as well. That's huge. Most companies don't do that. If you buy something, not only are you paid on it, but it counts. And then depending on what people order, let's say the Accelerate Trio, for example, I shared that earlier. It's around 13, 15-ish orders, and you're at director. Okay, and I'm focusing on director because I'm going to show you how to work your way up these ranks here. And I'm Silver Executive Vice President there, and I can attest that these numbers are very real every month. They're very real, and some of them are even low. So this is an extremely generous compensation plan. The next rank I want to highlight is Vice President. That's our core leadership rank. And that's around 220 to 250 orders in your whole organization. That doesn't mean that you're doing that. It means that if you and your bestie, Katie, decide to partner and Katie brings on Tom, then y'all together, you're an organization and y'all all share and sell these products, and you all together have around 220 something-ish orders. That's around Vice President, and that's almost $7,000 a month. Okay, every order counts. Okay, now I want you guys to look at this, and I want you to tell me what income would make a difference for you. Is it 500? Is it 1,000? Is it 2,000? Is it 4,000? Is it 10,000? I want you to dream, okay? Because we're going to talk about how to do that. And it's the director rank up playbook that we have designed for the team, okay? Everything here is designed with the building block of director. That's why I just explained that, okay? Director is how you hit all the ranks. So get yourself to director, then create somebody who's a director. That right there, if you are director and then you create a director, you have 2 directors on your team, that's an average of $1,200 a month. Okay, 33-ish orders, 30-ish orders, senior director. All right, if you want around $2,200 a month, create 4 directors, yourself and 3 more, right? And so forth and so on, right? Director is key. And something that we do on our team is we teach you exactly how to go director. You may be thinking, well, Tara, that sounds great. All right, now what do I do to do that? Okay, how do I do that? We have what's called a fast track bonus plan, and we break it down for you guys. Me plus 3, help 2 people get started as a brand partner and help 1 person get started with Accelerate Trio. You're going to make $220 every single time. Okay, then if you add 2 more to that, so instead of just me plus 3, you're now helping 5. Add another brand partner and another customer, that's $465 earned. And then if you help those brand partners do their me plus 3, so you're creating a little bit of duplication with just 3 people each time, that right there is director. Now, director you can hit a lot of different ways, okay? This is one illustration, but then we give you the systems on, well, Tara, okay, how do I enroll a brand partner? How do I enroll a customer? We have that for you. So I want you to put a 3 in the chat. If you know 3 people that could use extra income, drop a 3. If they could use any extra income. I'm seeing a lot of 3s. That's right. Okay. Now drop a 2 in the chat if you know at least 2 people who would like to feel better. 2 people. Right. Seeing a lot of 2s. Guys, if you know those numbers, you can be successful here. Because remember about the systems that I talked to you guys about? Inviting them to virtual messenger parties, or talking to them with 3-way chats, or inviting them to a call like this, or having a taste bar in your local area and doing an in-person sip and social, or using one of our Facebook pages that we have as systems. That's how you share the news. Not sure how to post? We teach you that. What do I post? We have examples of that. How do I talk about this? We've got message examples of that. All of that is provided for you. There literally is no guesswork. Tara, what do I do each day? 553. It's a system we teach. Talk to 5 new people, invite 5 people to look at Bravenly, and follow up with 3 people. 553. Do that every single day. The needle will move in your business, right? All of that. Now, I'm making it super simple here. We walk you through that. We onboard you to do that, but we tell you and teach you how to create directors. As a matter of fact, I want to tell you something. Every month, Bravenly, the whole company does a Zoom and they highlight all the recognition from the previous month. And it's individual recognition, sales, and rank ups, and impact achiever, which is something that we celebrate with corporate. And then there's one slide that talks about the people who helped the most people rank up. Okay, this is key in this industry. You have to create the duplication. Out of that list, half of that list for the entire company globally, half of that list was on this team right here. Half of that list were the top developers, meaning we as a team teach you how to rank up. Half of that list was this team right here. Tell me we don't have systems that work, right? We teach you guys how to do this. So if you're like, I still don't know how to do this, don't worry. Get back with the person that invited you and ask your specific questions. We will help you with that, but we have the systems in place for you guys. And last, before I wrap up here, is the last question. How do I get started as a brand partner? Well, there's 4 different ways, right? And I want you to leave, and I'm not pressuring you guys. I want you to leave just with full knowledge here. There's 4 different ways. $49.99, it's a business kit. There's no products. At that point, we do recommend you to add on 1 or 2 products of your choice so that you can be a product of the product. That's one option. The way most people do this is the product kits. You'll see the launch pack, the momentum pack, and the legacy pack. So $2.99, $4.99, and $6.99. And it comes with a ton of product. So if you go one of these 3 routes, it waives the $49.99. You no longer pay that. You're just paying for the product, but guess what? The product is nearly 40 to 60% discounted. You can see here a $441 value, and you're paying $2.99 for it. You also get Bravenly cash back. You get event cash. This also counts towards your volume, towards your rank ups. So it all matters. And we do offer Affirm and Klarna to split it up into 4 payments. Makes it super simple, but I will tell you, most people always try to go with the biggest kit that they can get, because this is a one-time offering, and then from there, products are always 20% or wholesale discount for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share for just a second, and I'm going to stop the recording.